you, dear ladies and gentlemen. So, I have my speech. It's more official, but I want to do two things. First of all, to come to do it like conversation, to share my opinions, sometime my memory, because more or less I was participated in the process of Berlin Wall fall from democratic movement of former Soviet Union. And also, I would ask you to remind me, come to this event, which bring us together from different countries here. I mean, Berlin. I will connect all my opinion, my thoughts to the Berlin Wall fall. First of all, look. We know now, we heard about many walls everywhere. Even now we heard that one country or one president decided to construct a wall. But why we was so happy and why it was very significant for us 30 years ago when Berlin Wall was fall. And look, there is two, I can say there is mainly two kinds of walls. One which one people or representative of people like president of parliament decided to construct. I think it's also, we can say it's decision, I can say it's stupid decision, but it's not crime. Because if one people or one person who represent people decide to have one wall for economic reason or for I don't know, cultural or other reason, climate reason, it's one thing. But the difference of Berlin Wall with such walls, which I was mentioned, is following, that this constructing of this wall, it was not decision of German people. It was decision of other big forces outside of this country. It was decided by one country which had totalitarian ideology. And they bring this wall and put in the middle of the Europe, very far from their country. Can you imagine Moscow and Berlin? There is like 3 hours flight. But they decided there is no border, but they decided to have here. And for them, for this regime, we can say it was very important to have a wall here. And they fight to having this wall. Long time, many, like around 40 years maybe, less or more. And even if you, my colleague, Mr. Bagration, remember, we was that time in the same democratic movement in Soviet Union. We felt this, how it impacts to Soviet Union and to Armenia. Look, Soviet Union at that time, we are talking about 1989. It was Soviet Union at that time. So, leaders of Soviet Union were ready to let go some republics, particularly Baltic republics. They was ready to let them go from Soviet Union, but they fight for this wall. Because for Soviet Union it was more important. It was not local issue like Baltic republics. It was global issue. And when Berlin Wall fell, next day in Armenia we felt it. We feel changes. Some our dreams, our projects, our programs for independence of our country, for democratic development, which were like fantastic at that time, and it was dubbed from people that we can realize it. They became very real because of example of this. Fall of this wall, it became like example for everybody, like hope that it's possible to do anything what they wish, what they people wish. Look, I will say a few words about one very important principle which is in the final Helsinki Final Act. It's a principle or right of people self-determination. You know, usually when you are talking about this principle, everybody, particularly now, I mean, a lot of countries look to this very negatively, like separatism. But you know, example of German people, what German people did 30 years ago, they show that self-determination can unite it. It's not only right for division, it's also right for unification, for being united. People of Germany decided. You know, sometimes somebody say, here, particularly Germany, my colleagues say, it was decision and goodwill of one person. They mean Gorbachev, former or last first secretary of Communist Party of Soviet Union. It was not like this. For destroying this wall, it was fight many years of Germans inside of Germany and democratic civil countries and persons all over the world. It was a result of this. This guy, I mean Gorbachev, he understood that it's impossible anymore to keep this wall outside of his country. Who from you who was following the report of speech of State Secretary of Germany, it was the beginning, he said very interesting thing. He said that after fall of Berlin Wall, war was started in many European countries. Now I'm talking about impact, how it impacts Europe. You know, I cannot say that it's like result of Berlin Wall fall, but you know, same forces, I mean, same ideological forces who divided Germany many years ago after Second World War, they artificially divided Germany. As I said, it was not decision of any legitimate power of Germany. I mean, not parliament decided about this, not presidents. It was that decision which Soviet Union took in the Moscow for German people. Same forces who divided artificially Germany, they also united some nations also artificially. They put them together without asking them. Really, they want to be together in one union, like Soviet Union or like we can say socialistic bloc of Europe. No, they put them together just because somebody decided in one place instead of them. And when Berlin fall of Berlin Wall shows that this force, this power is not such powerful like it was before. And the same force couldn't continue to keep nations artificially together. That's why we saw this process of self-determination of nations who, as I said, were artificially put to be together without their willing. Look, it was a very interesting process that time. It was dividing because they was artificially in one united place. But after, the same countries, when they make their self-determination, they decided to be together. Like, for example, in European Union, they divided, they understood, they realized they right for self-determination, and with same right they come together. That's why I count this right of people self-determination very important. He can not only divided nation, but also to bring them together. Now I'm coming to, I would like to say a few words about conflicts, because it was mentioned here also. Look, some conflicts, most of conflicts, in my biography, I don't like to mention this part of my biography because I was involved in many groups for solving many conflicts. Why I don't like it? Because we didn't succeed. There is not a success story to tell you what we did in Balkans with these groups. I don't think that we had success there, at least because it was more than 100,000 civil people died there, you know. And even now there is, at least in one country, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, I don't, or in Kosovo, in other places, it's not solved. But problem of these all conflicts is coming of dispute. Why other country discussing or fighting for one piece of land? Usually they forgot about people who is living inside. Particularly I can bring, for example, example of one conflict which is not far from my country. It's conflict of Nagorno-Karabakh. There is Armenians are there, and the problem of this conflict that Azerbaijan, he asked for land, not for people with this land. Well, also if we will continue, I can, coming to wall, remind me, please, time to time. Look, Turkey, what they did with Syria. Logically, Erdogan has to construct one wall because he always said about danger which is coming from these parts. Danger from Kurds, danger for I don't know, from Syrians, for Arabs, for I don't know, maybe Armenians, Assyrians, any people who stay there in Syria. He said about danger. Okay, logically, if you have danger, you need to construct wall like many other countries do. No, he doesn't want it. He wants to empty 30 kilometers area. What it means? It's not issue to secure your country. It's issue to empty land, because for him, land is more important than people are staying there. Such approach, such point of view about any conflicts, unfortunately, we have even in 21st century. I don't know exactly. I don't know, because it's very complicated issue, which our colleague say very emotionally introduce us about Kashmir. I don't think that it's also, I can say that also like some forces want to have empty territory, but maybe you know better than me. But it's very interesting that about Germany, it was not like a logical conflict, and this wall was completely out of all logical principles. Not logical, I can say logical, but any principles when other countries or people or constructed the wall. And what happened in Soviet Union? You know, I had colleagues here from Latvia. From tomorrow it will be from Lithuania. My friends, my colleagues, former colleagues will be. After fall of Berlin Wall, countries, republicans of Soviet Union, start to fight with more with more hope, with more results, and self-determination of nations in Soviet Union came because they saw example of self-determination of German people. So other things, and also very important thing, just to come to Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall, which was, in the middle, I say this, in the middle of Europe, in Berlin. It was not such long like Chinese or others, or wall which Trump start to construct, or Palestinian wall. But it was also showed that consequences of Second World War not finished yet. Process of closing the page of Second World War came starting with fall of Berlin Wall. So it was the last element which shows every day, reminding that Second World War doesn't finish yet. Now we can say that this page completely closed, and we have now opportunity to remember about past, but we have opportunity free and go forward. So thank you. I will stop here, and if you are interested of any other questions, so I'm here for you. Thank you. And thank you very much for, in the end I will say it is written here. And thank you very much for organizing, people who organize, thank you, Mark, and your staff, because it's very important each year to remember these very important things in case that it must be not happen again. It must be just memory, and we need to keep this memory. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've noticed the same thing in the preparations for this event. 30 years is a long time, and especially the younger generation, they don't remember Second World War, they take for granted the fall of the wall, European Union, extra bureaucracy, this and that. There's sort of the complacency we've seen, and I think it's super important to really say, hey, wow, look what we accomplished. This is a really big deal. France and Germany are at peace. Wow, for a long time that wasn't there. So for many reasons, I think it's really important. And as you mentioned in your speech and also just now, given the changing political landscape around the world, we're seeing reminders every day. Donald Trump is one of them. But we're celebrating the wall coming down, and in other parts of the world, walls are going up or being strengthened. So, unfortunately, I think it is quite important at a number of levels to reflect. But I want to hear your reflections and also the speaker's reflections, not my own. So let's have the chance now. Questions, comments. Who would like to go first? As always, just maybe raise your hand. Again, the conference is half up to you, as I said, so we can bring wonderful speakers here, but if we don't ask them the right questions. Any questions or comments? Yeah, here we go. Okay.
Well, I would like just to mention and to catch your comments on that the decision of self-determination of Nagorno-Karabakh issue was when the Soviet Union was still alive. And there was Article number 75 in the Soviet Union's constitution. I would like to catch up your views on that, your thoughts.
Yes, it's saying thank you for this comment or question. It reminds me very important thing. I just share you with the
Before Berlin Wall.
Yes. I will share with you. I'm also a member of parliamentary delegation of Armenia in Council of Europe. I remember this body, this platform was very, very important 25 years ago. Now it's less, but we want to give more, I don't know, not power, but more meaning to this. Look. Last question we discussed 2 weeks ago with some colleagues who will be, I don't know, in leadership of this organization. We saw here Commissioner for Human Rights of Ukraine. Look, we have Crimea. It's one place which is which Russia declared it like their area, and Ukrainians said it's mine. Council of Europe is not the place when we can solve this problem. We cannot decide Crimea is Russian or Crimea belong to Ukraine. It's other organizations in charge of this issue, like United Nations, OSCE, Normandy format. So what we try to do, okay, you are discussing about this land, but there are around 2.5 million people are there, and we can Council of Europe cannot make monitoring of human rights of people who are there, because we need to ask authorities to go there. Ukrainian cannot, Russia doesn't want to allow us to go there. What we try to say to them, listen, there are people here, both your countries, Ukraine and Russia, you signed European Convention for Human Rights. So if these people, I mean citizens, belong to your country, you sign this convention, allow us to go there. Ukraine, if you sign this convention, allow us to be there. Till this conflict will be solved, people of this place, it's not land, it's really real people, real families, real children, real, I don't know, destiny. People are willing, wishing, same what you try to do here or in other countries, in Armenia or somewhere. So we need to protect human rights in this place. It's very important. It's just coming for self-determination, because unfortunately sometimes people cannot decide what big countries or big forces are doing in their areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much.